Alrighty, guys and gals, pals and wels, we are making bias tape today, which usually I prefer buying because it's less of a hassle, but I couldn't find one that was shiny like this, so I decided okay, this time we're making it. First things first, you cut out your pieces. This one calls for 2 pieces of this. I'm pretty certain there's one for top, one for bottom. Make sure to follow the grain lines, because as you can see, this one has it diagonal. And, okay, so this weird part here is the selvage, and then this is the weft, and this is not the weft. I forgot what that's called. My fashion teachers are cringing really hard right now. So you just want to make sure that it follows the grain line, one of these directions. It's either got to be the same perpendicular to the selvage, or no, parallel to the selvage, or perpendicular to the selvage, because you want it on that grain line. But now that we've got our pieces cut, because I did that off camera, because it takes for flippin' ever, now we're going to follow the instructions on how it says to do this. Okay, so first things first, we're going to draw on our piece, and that will give us these lines, and I drew for the notches because I just want to make sure I can see them. So, first things first, make sure these line up. If you draw it in color pencil, you'll be able to erase it, and by erase it I mean just throw it in the washing machine. Let's see, can I see this? And so, don't try very hard not to burn yourself if you set that up too early, like I did. And then what we're gonna do, we're going to just make sure that this lines up. Do I have it right? I pretty much do. Close enough. So we're gonna set it up, and I guess when we're done with it, it's going to sort of end up being this sort of Mobius strip of binding sort of deal, which seems like more effort than it's worth, probably because it is, but we're gonna do it anyway. We've committed.
They couldn't just make shiny bias tape at the store.
No, because that would make things way too easy on me, and we don't want that to be happening, do we?
Apparently not.
So what you want to do is make sure these notches line up, right sides together, as per usual. So okay, notches and notches. And for this, it wants 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we're gonna pin these. This is, like I said earlier, at some point, probably during the Thor video, that making your own bias tape is a bitch and a half, and I'd rather not do it. The things I do for you people, and by you people I mean me. Okay, so you want the instructions say that it's giving you enough room for 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is basically just this tiny little smidge. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than that, but it's not. So, alright. Okay, so that's very nearly 1 inch, and it goes to about there-ish. So, we don't need it at 12. We can kick that down to 8. Just make it a straight line. Okay, so that's where that ended. So what you're going to want to do now is take one of these pins, and I don't know how much you can actually see, but pull one so that you can take this little loop, pull it all the way through so that both ends are on one side, and then you tie them off on one side. It just makes it more stable when you do that. Alright. Now. So. I drew the lines on the inside of this. So we're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it inside out. And this is going to be a Mobius strip of bullshit. So, it's gonna go like, if I do this correctly, we're gonna have bias tape when I'm done with this. If I didn't do this correctly, I'm not gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be disappointed. Mostly in myself.
That's okay. I'll still love you even if you mess up.
God, I hope so, because you've got so few options after that. She'll still love me with that when I mess up. It's like, well, I'm gonna, so like, you knew that was coming.
Well, yeah, considering you sewed the two sides of my corset the wrong way twice.
I thought we agreed not to bring that up again.
Why would I let that die?
Just because you love me.
I don't love you that much to let that die.
That's fair. We're just about done cutting this into pieces. And it looks like... Holy shit, we did it! We have a Mobius strip of bias tape. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed with myself. This is where we sewed that one line, and it turned into all of these lines. So we'll clean them up, obviously, but so far, we've got just a Mobius strip of bias tape. And that's the way my mom said it, so we're calling it a Mobius strip. It's no longer a Mobius strip because we cut it into pieces, but it was, and now it is not. But we've got it! So what we're doing right now, just to make my life easier, it's not actually part of the instructions, is we're ironing it into a taco, in which the filling will be the corset, the rest of the corset. So that is step 2 of this bias tape. What is that? Is this step 3, 4 of the bias tape? What we're doing with bias tape? It'll be, you know what? It'll be step 2B. There we go.
Or not to be.
So what I'm doing now is I'm pinning the bias tape that we made, even though I just said we weren't gonna do that last episode, to the inside of this, and we're going to stitch the whole thing along the inside, and then when that's fully stitched, then we'll flip the whole thing over and stitch it on this side, and then hopefully that'll make it so you can't see like any of the seams. So that's what we're hoping. That's the plan in any case. And if you can see some of the seams, they will be on the inside where it doesn't matter anyways, so it's okay.
Although technically we were just saying this one's kind of reversible, so taking every fiber of Eris's being to keep this a family-friendly channel.
I mean, I haven't for the past, 3 hours, but apparently I'm gonna start now. Alright, so if I wanted to make this reversible, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Okay, so, I figured out what I'm doing with my life. We're starting it along about where this basting stitch is. So we're putting that there, and then we're gonna come just a little bit under that, and we're going to sew there, and then we're gonna flip this over, and then we're gonna do this. And the plan is, if there's any seamage that you see on the inside, it'll be fine, and it'll also look like it's supposed to be there. And it'll all be even and nice looking. So it may not be like what you're supposed to be doing, but I've never once followed the rules and I don't plan on starting now. So we're doing it my way. And if you want to tell me in the comments that I'm absolutely an idiot for doing it the way I'm doing it, feel free. I take criticism. It's cool. I'm here for this. And with that, we have made and attached the bias tape to our corset. Now, next up, we'll be doing the grommets, and then this whole thing, except for a little piece here that we're going to attach later when we do some armor, is done. And you have your Loki corset. And if I do say so myself, we are looking very spiffy.